classification is defined as assigning some label, some tag, or annotating some unqueued data. So unqueued means which is raw data which has no label attached to that data. So if I want to look at formal definition of this classification, it would be something like this: a description of instance X which belongs to bigger X set basically, where X is the instance language or instance space. And example would be how to represent text documents. So what does this formal definition says? This says that we have a big collection of documents which is X, and then we pick up one document from that big collection which is small x, and then we want to attach some class or some label to that particular small document. And then formally we have a set of defined categories or classes which is presented by bigger set C. So which is C is equal to C1, C2 and Cn. So C1, C2 and Cn are our different class labels. So formal definition would be, it is basically the category of X would be C of X, which is subset of C. So Cx is a categorization function which has a domain of X and which has a range of C. So domain would be X and range would be C. Range is our classes and domain are our documents. So what is advantages or what are different subjects which are involved in this classification? Again, this classification, it cannot be done only based on NLP techniques. So what we need for this classification is, we need the help of different other subjects which are related to computer science or maths or stats. So these are natural language processing area, then we have artificial intelligence area, graphics, architecture, and then theory of different things in relation to computer science. So how these are related? For example, we will take help of rules, grammars from AI and theory of automata, and then for graphics it is for displaying purposes, and then architecture to make systems which are very compact and fast for understanding NLP applications. Here I have given an example to make you understand what I always say about classification. There are basically 4 different paragraphs in this text. So this one, basically this one, we can say that this is classification for all of this complete text. So this text basically, it presents some information for a patient who is suffering or who has an history of some diseases, and then the doctors or this software wants to warn that patient that you will have some disease in future. So what we say, that heading would be, this concerns you as a patient. So then the person who would be a patient becomes proactive, and whenever he gets this information, so instead of reading all this document, he can just read this first sentence, and that he should be preemptive and he should be familiar that he might be having some disease in future. So what are different classification methods available? Number one method is manual classification. Manual classification is done by human experts, and these are done based on some common knowledge which is present in the world. So this classification is used by different search engines such as Yahoo, and for biological data it is also used by Medline corpus also. So it is very accurate when experts are available, so it will perform very good as compared to automatic classification. And it would be consistent when problem size and team is small. Whenever the problem size increases, it will become inconsistent. And then it is difficult and expensive because human involvement is required all the times. Then there are automatic document classification techniques. This automatic classification, it can be done at 2 levels. Number one, it can be grammar based, or the experts just write handwritten rules and then computer follows those rules. And the other way around is that computer tries to identify rules itself. So that would be again another part of automatic classification. And then in most of the commercial systems, these automatic tools are employed, such as they have complex query languages and everything in information retrieval query languages and accumulators which combine results together in a compact format. For classification, we can say that there are two types of classification. Number one classification is supervised classification. Supervised classification means that when we have attached labels within a training data. Suppose I have training sentence, a boy is playing, and I put soccer or football or sports class with that information, then this is the example of supervised classification. On the other hand, there is another type which is unsupervised classification, in which training data has no labels attached and computer automatically tries to find out common information between its training data and then attach some sort of label to that data, which is also called clustering. So supervised where data has some labels, unsupervised where there are no labels, and unsupervised is also called clustering or putting together something in a box. So here I have given some examples of classification. At the very basic level, we have binary classification. For example, we have in our email systems, we have spam emails. So whenever an email comes, it would be either a spam or no. So if it is a spam, then it will go to the spam folder. Otherwise, it will be in our inbox. Then we have different labels or topics. For example, in our emails, we can have finance, sports, Asia, and different topics. For example, in our cases, we mostly make folders such as students' mails, friends' mail, family mails, and etc. Then opinions. Opinions are about some specific thing, like if I want to watch some movie, then I will see opinions of different people if they like that movie, hate that movie, or neutral things. And then labels of authors, that we can put labels with the name of authors of some specific books, such as we can say, okay, this book is written by author 1, author 2, and so on. So classification as a whole is basically applying some label to a unannotated data, and then that label is used to identify or differentiate that data from other data.